2 weeks ago, I said I was going to challenge myself to beat my TBR and pick out a couple of books to start with. I narrowed it down to one without even reading the other one, and have not even touched it since. So that's going really well. So I thought I would do a wrap up of all the books that I have read in June. So I know it's the 30th now. I ain't gonna finish anything today. So let me just get myself organised and then we can talk about some books. Okay, so the first book I finished was Filthy Rich Fae Fallen Court, which is the second one. That's my rating. I think I might have given it like a 4.5 rather than actual 5 stars, but unfortunately Goodreads cannot do half stars. Oh no, I'm lying. I give it 5 stars. Just checked. I give it 47 out of 50. So I got a 10 for characters, 9 for atmosphere, 9 for plot, 10 for enjoyment, and a 9 for the dialogue. So here's a little blurb if anybody's interested. It is book 2. I have read Filthy Rich Vampires by Geneva Lee as well, and this series is so much more fun. So then the next book I finished was Wicked, which I was very excited to read, and yeah. So I've not seen the movie, but I have seen the West End show. This is my that's the whole, that's my whole review. So let's just, and there's a quick little blurb about it if you were interested. I don't know if it was only written in the 90s though, wasn't it? It was just, yeah, it just wasn't given. It was like, the idea was there, and it fell flat. I found it so dull. So then the next book I finished was Shadow Princess, which is book number 4 in Zodiac Academy. And that's the whole blurb. Okay. So I give that 3.5, rounded up to 4. So I think my issue was that Tori and Darius just started really doing my head in. So I've paused that series for now, but I am planning on going back. I then read Comfort Zoned by Alison Specker. Here's a little blurb if you're interested. I'm really sorry if you just heard my stomach rumble then. So I did give this a genuine 4 stars. So I really enjoyed it. Let's see. I mean, it is a classic romance, spicy type book. I think 252 pages, so it was very quick read. And I do want to read more by Alison. I think the only thing that let it down was the plot. I put a 7 for the plot and a 7 for the dialogue, so that just means it was a little bit duller. I then finished Midnight Sun, which I couldn't give it anything but 5 stars because I absolutely loved it. So this is basically just Twilight from Edward's perspective, and I really wish there was more books from his perspective. I have read that, but that was like years ago. So I think she's bringing out a couple more books, but none of them. I know there's a Renesmee and whatever her name is and Jacob book coming out. I just want more of Edward's point of view because he is so dry. It was funny. I then finished Women of Good Fortune, which I give 4 stars. It was based on a heist, so here's the little blurb. So it's got like a heist in it. It's got a lot of different women with different personalities, and it's just I thought it was quite funny. I really enjoyed that. I then finished Legendary, which is the second book in the Caraval series. And here's a little blurb from this. I enjoyed this one more than the first one because I really like Donatella. I think she's like a really interesting character, and it was so much fun. And this is a YA, so even though it's got romance in, it's not slutty. Basically, speaking of slutty, I finished Gloves Off, which I got as an ARC from Stephanie Archer, for the simple fact that I absolutely love all of her books, and this got a 5 stars from me. Here's my little review if anybody's interested. And here's the blurb. So it's the fourth in the series. It can be read as a standalone, but I recommend reading the other series because, especially Rory, love. I didn't really like Alexei I didn't mind him, but I didn't like love him. But this book made me also fall hard. I then finished Finale, which is the 3rd book in the Caraval, and I also give that one 5 stars. I liked the multiple different point of views. I think the only thing that like gave me major ick, and please fast forward really quickly, like the next 30 seconds if we don't want spoilers, but the thing that gave me the ick was Tella getting with her grandma's ex, whatever it was. Yeah. I hope everybody's back now for the next book, if you skipped that. I read book 3 of the Twisted series, and this is like, I don't know if I would call them enemies to lovers, but it's 2 people who dislike each other, 2 lovers, and fake dating behind people's back, I guess. Seeing each other behind each people's back. Yeah, it was very enjoyable. I give that one 4.5 stars because I think it could have been shorter, if I'm honest, and the miscommunication really winds me up like no one's business. I then finished Beg, Borrow or Steal, which is book 3 in the series that I didn't realise until I'd already started it. So I do need to read the other 2, but I still enjoyed this. Again, enemies to lovers, but I don't even know if they're enemies because he is chef's kiss. I gave that one 4.5 stars as well. It basically got 9s across the board, except from the dialogue was 8 because there was a couple of little bits that were like a little cringy. But nah, that happens. I then started the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher, so I finished Throttled, and I absolutely loved Noah and Maya. I thought they were so fun together, and so I'll give the characters 10 out of 10 because great. Book number 2 did not get as highly rated because Liam gave me the ick a bit. It was basically just how he speaks about himself and about women that, Where Shadows Meet was probably my biggest disappointment of the month, because I was so excited to read this. Look, I rarely write reviews, and I just felt like I had to. Black Lesbian Vampires sounded like such a vibe, and it just didn't give. Found myself bored trying to rush through it just to finish. There was so much going on, but nothing was going on at the same time. Multiple point of views. There was 4 point of views, I think. There might have been even more. But then it was also set in dual timelines, so it was just very all over the place. I'm not even sure what to do about book number 2, because I'm kind of curious, but I'm also not sure I'm that curious. So here's the blurb. And then finished Wrecked, which is the 3rd one. And I did enjoy this one more than Collided, less than Throttled. The characters were better, but I did not like how he spoke to Elena half the time. It was just really like, ugh. But I guess it's like kind of enemies to lovers. It's fine. Then I finished Redeemed, which redeemed itself because Santiago is bae. I absolutely loved him. I haven't actually read that one yet because I need to put my little stats on Excel. But this and the first one are my favourites because I love both of these, and it is fake dating, which is one of my favourite tropes ever. So it was worth reading the other 2 just to get to that one. I then finished Twisted Lies, which again feels like it could have been 100-ish pages shorter, but it was still entertaining. I just felt like I was just like, come on, get together, get back, get happy. And yeah, the thing that confuses me is that Christian's literally just a bad person. Like, he's on par with Alex in his extracurriculars, except from I feel like Alex actually kind of had a reason, whereas Christian just gets moody and people. But I'm finished that series now, and I have read all the King of Sin books, so I probably just need to go to her other series. And then lastly, I read The Friendship Club, which I only finished yesterday. And here's a little blurb. So if you like books that is like has a sense of community, it's about a bunch of women who, some of them have been through bad times, some of them are not looking for love, some of them accidentally found love. It's, you know, so the first like 100 pages or so I was a bit like, oh, this is a bit but it does get slightly more dramatic and a lot more enjoyable, and it is quite a short read, so I would probably recommend this. And it is by the same author as Virgin River, so next month I am going to start reading Virgin River despite having already seen the TV show. So that is my wrap up, which I think is 18 books, which is quite good for me. The average rating is probably not as high as it usually is, but it's probably around 4 stars, to be honest. 1 second. So yeah, I'm hoping to get through about 18 more next month, because despite my Goodreads saying that my goal is 100, I am actually aiming for 200 like I did the previous couple of years, but I don't like to put pressure on myself, which is why I say 100. But I am behind. I think I'm on 94 now, which technically we're halfway through the year, so I should be on 100. But I have also been reading some larger books, so my page count's probably higher than usual, but that's fine. I am currently reading, I've started reading Come Back by Rebecca Genshak, that's how you pronounce it, which is the 3rd in a series, but I would also kind of count it as the 8th in a series, because she has another series that starts on, and then the last book links into the first book of this series. So I mean, luckily I read it in the right order, but I would recommend starting all the way back there, because they're all interlinked, and it's quite fun to read them all. So I'm reading that, and like I said, I'm planning on reading Virgin River, so I want to read maybe 3 or 4 in this series, at least. And I also want to read a couple of the Hannah, oh my god, Boehm-Young, I think she's called, the Out on the Limb, Next of Kin, those 4 books. I'm planning on reading a couple of them next month, and I've borrowed a few books from the library, a bunch of romances, so let's see if I can find them. I say a bunch of romance. So I've got a book by Chloe Leese, Only When It's Us, which looks like it's a football romance. I think it's like a big series, but it looks good. One that's not a romance, Mondays Are Murder. I'm not gonna lie, the cover spoke to me, so it is what it is. What else have I got to read? Mary McFarlane's book, If I Never Met You. Lisa K. Adams, The Bromance Book Club. Tessa Bailey, Fix Her Up. Jasmine Guillory. I'm so bad with names. The Wedding Date. Yeah. Hopefully I get around to. I've also promised my friend that I'd read some thrillers. So she made me a TBR in Libby for me to read. So with that, I'll show you which ones. There we go. The Whisper Man, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, Beautiful Ugly, The Trap, Next of Kin, The Push, Look Closer. She really, really wants me to read that one, so I've put a hold on that one. Listen for the Lie, None of This Is True, The Fourth Monkey, and Kill for Me, Kill for You, which is all ones that she has enjoyed herself. So yeah, that is my books read and my TBR for next month. So thank you for watching. Bye.